Welcome back, Toddler Tribe, to the show. Today I'm talking about making memories, not searching for milestones. And I'm going to unpack this all for you, but this is a special episode because I'm going to do some time traveling. I'm going to travel back in time where my kids were younger. I'm going to talk about my parents' journeys when I was younger and then bring it all back to this moment in time. So recently, I was doing a coaching session, and I'm blessed to have a couple clients who live near me. And that's saying something because I live in the middle of nowhere in the southern part of Vermont. So we were meeting in person, and it's just such a special way to do a session. And something that she said that I said struck me. And I wanted to bring it to you today as we talk about core memory making and being present, not just there, right? Because your presence is the present that you give to your little one every time you engage intentionally. She said, and let's call it a paraphrase because I'm sure I won't get it exactly right. The biggest takeaway that I've had from our session today is that there is a chapter for everything in my parenting journey. There's a season for everything in my parenting journey. And this is my season to be a mom to toddlers. It does mean that I am saying no to some other things right now. And that's okay. There will be a time for that season of my life. Oh, I get chills just thinking about it all over again. Thinking about your parenting journey as a seasonal experience is very important. People talk all the time about how it's a marathon, right? It's a journey. It's not about the destination. And yet we very often seek out these milestone destinations and can't wait to get there. And in doing that, we lose the ability to be fully present in the season that we're in. And then there's the accepting that seasons change. And this is really hard. Now, when you have toddlers and they are in a phase and you're like, will this ever end? And then that season shifts, oh, thank goodness. So there's that component of it. But there's also a deeper, more meaningful component as well. I was chatting with my husband recently during one of our morning coffee chats, and he said to me, I have some regrets about not being fully present when the girls were younger. I know you made way more memories with them than I did. Now, for those of you who are new to the podcast, my girls are now 20 and 22 years old. So he's flashing back a ways. But here's the crazy thing about time. I was present. I left the classroom so that I could be home with them for a while. I went back to the classroom and then I made sure when it was an important moment, I was there. I knew the intentionality and the importance of my physical presence and then my emotional presence in the moment. And you know what? I still feel like I missed a lot. It's very strange the way that time plays with our minds. Now, ask the girls, what are some of your core memories? They come up with things and we're like, oh my gosh, really? That never would have occurred to us. Or, oh my goodness, I don't even remember that. So, keeping in mind that everybody has their own personal way of settling into those memories as you're making them, it's really wild. It's kind of like showing up, being in the play, but also being an audience member, watching the play at the same time. Knowing, it's that level of knowing that what's happening in that moment is really important. It's really special. It's going to land deeply in one way for you, in another way for them. And that is a moment that is worth making. So, what do I mean when I talk about choosing making moments and making memories instead of seeking out milestones? Well, this all happened very recently. My mom and dad and I have lunch together, I'd say twice a month. And I'm blessed to also live very close to them. So this is a possibility for me. And in my dad's youth, he was a runner, dedicated runner. Every single day. It was such an important part of his identity, who he was, and of course, stress relief. He had a high stress job. He was a superintendent of schools. And yes, I come from an educational family. The pedagogy runs deep. And this running became who he was. And you know what? I get it. I get it. Now that I have entered my running era and I've been actively running for about a year, September, October, a year and a half? I think so. I understand how it shapes your identity. And you say to yourself, you think to yourself, your bones yell at you, I am a runner. And you seek it and you want it because it really impacts us that deeply as part of running communities. And what's interesting was what he said to me. My dad is over 80 years old. And he's in a different season of his life. He's in an amazing season of his life. His brain works in ways that I would never think possible at 80 plus years old. He can memorize long lists of things still, and things I cannot do at 49. It's just true. If I had to give his brain an age different than his chronological age, it would be at least 20 years younger. He is sharp. He's a thinker. It's amazing to watch. But his body is saying to him, I am no longer capable of running. And it's a very hard season for him. It's hard to let go of the seasons that we used to be in so deeply and accept new seasons of our life. And it's especially tricky because I've just entered my running season. So we're having lunch and we're talking. And he says, you know what? I think next time you run a race, now take that for what it is. I'm a pretty cool 5Ker. Never gone any further than that in a race. Next time you run a race, I'll walk it. I said, that's awesome. I would love that. And he's like, well, I mean, we wouldn't be together because you'd run your race. It's true. Last November, when I ran my first turkey trot, I definitely had a pace goal, I had a milestone goal that I wanted to reach. And I ran for that and I hit it. But in that moment, sitting at the table with my father, looked at my mother, and then I looked inside myself and I said, oh, I'd walk it with you. And he did not know what to say, except, why? Why would you do that? And my answer was so simple. I choose making a memory with my dad over reaching a milestone. And this is how I pray you show up every day, in the moments that you have available to you to create high quality, intentional, connected moments with your kids, with your students, with the people in your life that matter most to you. Choose making the memory instead of putting the medal on your wall or hitting your time or being right. Choose the memory and savor it inside that moment and know that it's yours forever. I told you this was really special and near and dear to my heart, and it is. And I know that it can feel like a lot when you have infants, toddlers, and preschoolers, because they already need you so much. You already have to be there so much in proximity to keep them safe and all the things. But as your kids grow, remember this episode. Come back and listen again. Because when the autonomy years begin, somewhere between 8 and 10, they start practicing the life of being their own person, and it only ramps up from there. When the autonomy years begin, you will have less consistent proximity, and you're going to want to create moments on purpose. It will help strengthen that connection and that bond and keep that relationship strong through the tween and the teen years. All right, Toddler Tribe. I pray that this resonates with you and that you can take this into your day today. That you can find 2 to 5 minutes and make a memory that you will hold on to forever with the special people that you love in your life. Until our next episode, you know what to do. Stay mindful and proactive as we transform the toddler years.